Jurassic Park 3D marks the return to Steven Spielberg's 1993 classic, now in 3D, IMAX. What more could you want?
What do they got in there, King Kong?
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Are you humming the song?
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, I am a huge fan of Jurassic Park and basically just stuff like this. So when I heard that Jurassic Park was coming out in 3D, I was incredibly excited, and it turns out it was definitely worth the wait. Of course, as a youngling, I was just on the cusp of missing this in theaters. I was a little too young, so I ended up watching it on VCR, and my parents and everyone I know told me about how terrifying it was to see it in the theater, to hear it in the theater, and I was so happy to finally experience that. And it was everything I could have hoped for and more. From the visuals, from the sound, just from seeing the movie again, which I know like every word to. It was an excellent experience. So let's break down what Jurassic Park actually is. It's the story of Hammond, a Scottish rich tycoon with clearly way too much money, who hires a bunch of people, scientists, everything, and creates a theme park on a private island based around recreated real dinosaurs. And the beauty of that, as ridiculous as it sounds, it's presented in such a tangible manner. You know, Spielberg and his crew did such a great job just making it a believable world, not only one that you're terrified of, but one that you could see yourself being in, and maybe even want to be at times. So Hammond brings along Dr. Alan Grant and, I forget her name in the movie, but Laura Dern, who are archaeologists, and he also brings along Dr. Ian Malcolm, a chaos theory mathematician, played by Jeff Goldblum, who definitely as a supporting character steals the show, let's just say that. Once they begin to go through the park, they are teamed up with Hammond's grandkids, Lex and Timmy, who are seemingly annoying 90s kids, but end up having such an important role in the story that you become attached to them as well. Of course, this park riddled with dinosaurs goes awry, and that's where the fun begins. And now, what's amazing about this movie, and me watching it, maybe it's because I'm jaded and cynical, but I was looking and I'm like, man, this movie is such a slow burn. Like, it takes a long time to build things up. And the movie doesn't just start off with dinosaurs being awesome. Even the first time you see dinosaurs, they're not really even being awesome. You're just sitting there and you're watching the characters bask in the wonderment of the fact that there are dinosaurs walking around. And you're in the same boat, which is even cooler. But the best part is that now it's in 3D and in IMAX, which I think was handled very, very well. Jurassic Park is known for these very wide open field shots, most notably in the beginning and close to the end. There are these sprawling grassy fields where you see dinosaurs doing their thing, and those are my favorite parts, and I think those are the parts that stood out best in the 3D IMAX conversion, if you will. Something about the 3D and the way it's all translated, I mean, yes, it's post-converted, it's not amazing, things aren't really popping out, but what was most notable is that the characters kind of had a much more of like a defined presence against their background, which I kind of liked it. It almost felt like they were more there. Some people would argue that it looks like they're less there, but the way I looked at it, it looked like they were more there, and especially when you see the characters like walking, like I said, in the big grassy fields, it was like, whoa, you really felt like they were there. Granted, the post-converted 3D does have its problems. You know, there is the occasional foreground that is blurry, and some of the actual computer graphics effects, there's not many at all, but some of them don't look as hot because of this, but, you know, what are you gonna do? But one of the main things I was really looking to experience in Jurassic Park 3D was the sound. You know, when you first see the T-Rex, and he's just like, and it's just like that crazy noise that doesn't really sound like an animal could ever make. Kind of sounds like a car horn, but it is so cool. It's such an iconic roar. And the first time you hear it, you are like, oh my god. Like, it was unlike anything I've experienced in the theaters. There's still such a presence today that holds up from a 1993 movie that, I hate to say it, but you just don't really see today. Now, I talked about the sound, but I did not talk about the soundtrack. Oh my god, I can't, you've probably heard everyone and their mother gush about the soundtrack because it is honestly one of the best. It's up there with Indiana Jones, it's up there with Star Wars, it's up there with RoboCop. I'm the only person that puts RoboCop in any of those lists. But in terms of iconic theme, it is absolutely soaring, and it's just so, I can't even talk about it. So Jurassic Park for me is what movies are all about. What Jurassic Park does very successfully, and this is a rare thing, but I think it was like, I relate it to Back to the Future and how it takes kind of like a really nerdy out there type of theme and makes it this fun, incredible, iconic movie that everyone can enjoy. And Jurassic Park is incredibly successful at that. I brought my girlfriend with me who hadn't seen it in ages, didn't really remember it, and the raptor scenes terrified her. She jumped. People in the theater were jumping, and I was just saying, yes, those scenes still have bite, because I've seen it a million times. I know when the guy's arm pops out. I know when the raptor's face comes through the pipes. But, for someone who hasn't experienced that, it still works, considering it's a 1993 movie. Bring someone with you who hasn't really experienced it before, because you will get added enjoyment out of it. Bring your son, bring your daughter, bring your girlfriend, bring your boyfriend, bring your mom, bring your dad, bring your grandpa, who might not even survive because of this movie, how intense it is. If not for that, bring it for a fantastic Jeff Goldblum in this movie, who I say puts in an Academy Award-winning worthy performance in a supporting actor. Is that what it's called? Yes, he is great. So if you can't tell, I love absolutely everything about Jurassic Park. It almost makes me think about Jurassic Park 4 and how much I don't want it. But that's besides the point. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Jurassic Park 3D. Let me know what you think of the world of Jurassic Park. How did you like the 3D conversion? Did you see it in 3D? Did you see it in not? And are you looking forward to Jurassic Park 4? Do you think this is going to fit in very well or not? Or, I don't know, that's pretty much it.
Must go faster.